Good morning. My name is Lakshya. Welcome to Behl's Business Broadcast. Today we have in our studio Mr. Tom Binger, who is the owner of Green Lantern Restaurant. Welcome to the stream, Tom.
Thanks for having me.
So it's a pleasure having you. You've been the owner of the Green Lantern Restaurant, which is an institutional, iconic restaurant in Madison area now. And you've had it for 45 years now?
We bought it 49 years ago, yeah.
That is
1977.
1977, 49 years. So we're going to talk to Tom about a lot of different things, different aspects related to his business. But as usual, I want to get started with first talking about the top news over the weekend. We'll take just 5 minutes to do that. And Tom, please feel free to jump into everything or anything you want to give a comment on.
Okay.
And then we'll start talking about your business, Tom. How's it sound?
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is this news, which we have been hinting at over the last couple of weeks. Credit stress mounts as delinquencies hit decades high. So we have more and more delinquencies going on. And that's just going to keep on increasing as the expenses keep rising. Interest rates are still pretty high. The possibility of interest rates going down has kind of diminished over the last couple of weeks. People were really optimistic about interest rates going down in the FOMC meeting in December, but now that's going down. That has changed massively. So this continues the trend of basically squeezing the consumer who, despite higher spending as reported by Visa and MasterCard, continue to have less disposable income. Tom, would you say that actually correlates to what you're seeing in the market right now?
Well, I'm sure that that's happening. I've talked to a couple bankers and gentlemen that I know. So I would say that people around here are going out a little bit less than they used to. I believe they don't have the money they used to have to spend freely. They're having to spend it on groceries, credit card bills, the like, their cars, things that they got underwater.
Insurance.
Yep.
Insurance a big one.
Insurance is big. Cost of food is big.
Yeah.
Disposable income hasn't gone up as much as the prices have gone up.
Wages have not gone up as much as inflation has gone up. And inflation is a one-way street, as I keep saying. You can have lower inflation, but that does not mean prices go down.
That's true. I don't think you see a lot of prices go down. Now, on the news this morning, they said grocery prices have been going down recently. That was a big thing this morning that I saw.
But is that actually true in your own experience?
Not recently. Well, different items are subject to,
Of course, that's just local supply and demand.
Like, eggs, they had a bird flu.
Yeah.
And the eggs that used to cost $30 for 15 dozen went to $120.
Yeah.
About 4 months ago for 15 dozen.
Yeah.
And now they're back down.
Yeah.
I mean, we're paying, I'm not sure exactly what the price is, but it's back down around $30 for a 15 dozen case of eggs. Meat's going up. They always raise beer prices. They never lower a beer price when they're selling you beer. Food prices you can shop for. You have 4 or 5, 6 different suppliers, and you can, if you play the game and talk to each guy and find out who's selling what cheaper than the other, that's just part of business.
Yes.
In the grocery store, you can see things fluctuate, but nothing's really gone down in the last 5 years.
Nothing's
price of turkeys is pretty cheap now.
Turkey's cheap. Yes, that's true.
They have.
I noticed that.
When I went to the grocery store the other day, I thought the price per pound of turkeys was awfully reasonable from what it used to be. So
yeah,
there you go.
But that's local. On the whole, let's say you're a consumer, you're buying for your household, not particularly for your business, or even for your business, a truckload or a delivery or a cartload. That's typically up.
For sure. Up compared to what it was a few years ago.
In general.
I'm not sure if it's going up a lot in the last couple, 3, 4 months. Beef's gone up a bunch in the last 3, 4 months. And again, that's a thing probably like the eggs. I mean, problem with beef or whatever they're doing, and now the price has gone up. You just got to find something else in the business. You got to find something else to sell to people, whether you sell them, you know, chicken or pork or whatever you're going to put out there. But that's the business side. You're talking at home?
At home, yes, that affects the business as well, because that affects how many people are coming into the business and
Right.
spending how much money with the business,
Right.
doesn't it?
Right. Right. You know, if you're a husband and wife that have children,
Yeah.
costs you a lot more because kids aren't cheap.
Yeah.
If you're just a single guy,
Yeah.
you can get by pretty frugally. So, you know, everything's changed since COVID.
Yeah.
And it keeps, you know, has it gone the other way yet? You know, you'd like to think that the pendulum swings. I don't know if it's swung back yet because it was going that way, but what are we going to do?
But I don't think it's a pendulum after all. I don't really think it's really a pendulum.
When it comes to prices of things?
It really isn't.
Yeah, that's because you never really see stuff really go back down.
Never.
You're never going to see a car go back down to $15,000.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it can't.
Yeah.
You're paying a guy in the auto, you know, building your cars. They're making more money. They have to make more money to pay their
groceries.
to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, so that's really what we're talking about, and how as businesses concerned with growth and basically sustainability over the long term, how you talk about prices. But let's get to that in a bit. Let's keep going with how short term things keep changing based on what the Fed does, right? On the short term. So here's a news item, and you can see that on your screen. I don't know if it's big enough, but it says gold is now dipping as Federal Reserve rate cut hopes are fading. So even just a couple of weeks ago, right, they had this whole certainty, even on the betting markets, poly market and all that, that it's near certain that in December FOMC meeting, we're going to get another rate cut.
Is that off the table now?
That is.
They're not going to, they definitely said they're not going to.
No, they said it's far from a foregone conclusion. That's what they said.
Okay.
And it's looking less likely now. So
they got to look at all their data.
Yeah.
You know. And then
inflation is what it is. Inflation's not going down that much. Inflation's still high.
Yeah, it's, you know, what's high. And then who's making the data? Because they make the data to satisfy what they want to get done.
Yeah.
You can't always. Is it always the truth?
It's almost never the truth.
I agree.
It's almost never the truth.
Yeah.
No, but traders are now assigning it a 46% probability to December rate cut, down from near certainty less than a month ago. And that was when Bitcoin got to like 125,000.
Yep.
And NVDA got to $5 trillion market cap. It was all on the back of near certain rate cuts over the next few meetings.
Okay. Now, I wasn't aware that they took a rate cut totally off the table.
No, Powell literally came out in the meeting and said, even though we are having a rate cut now, don't assume that the next one is going to be a foregone conclusion.
Well, you know.
It's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand him saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not making any promises. It could go down and it might not. So,
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't want to get nailed down on anything. He's got to make his assumptions.
Yes. But the point is that even for something as stable as gold, the short-term prices are literally just dictated by what the market's doing, what the Federal Reserve is doing. So forget Bitcoin and NVIDIA, right? SPX, Dow, everything really short-term. You cannot predict what's going to happen. It's going to probably go down, probably go up. It's just short-term variance.
Right.
So when you analyze a stock, for instance, NVIDIA over the long term, what do you look at? Why do you consider buying NVIDIA over something else, for instance? What gives you that confidence that over the long term, I think NVIDIA is probably going to go up?
Well, they have a product everybody wants.
Yeah.
And the demand for it's going to continue to go up.
Yes.
So that's pretty plain, clear cut that you would assume that it's going to, you know, unless something terrible happens.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they do something over in Taiwan or blow up a factory or whatever. If things status quo keeps going.
Yeah.
You know, people need their chips. They're building more and more and more of those data companies, and
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to need more and more. They have the stuff that people want.
Yeah.
They don't really have a competitor.
They don't.
So, and demand goes up, and you're the only guy. You've got a pretty good thing going on there.
Yeah. And I think that's what I keep saying. But look at this next headline. Bezos of Amazon is leading a $6.2 billion AI startup project called Prometheus. It's not about this particular project in general. Every time I have a stream, there's always a bunch of news about people investing, companies investing billions, sometimes tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars in AI.
Yep.
And the real chip right now in that space is NVDA. That's the only real chip. I mean, you can do Apple-based MLX, right, on AI. But MLX really has very few models. And then parallel working, where you want to have agentic coding, for instance. You want AI to code for you, right? That works on Apple. But when you want parallel users or parallel agents working on the same model, it just breaks down. It doesn't work, as far as I understand. Now, it works only with CUDA, which is NVIDIA only. So NVIDIA is the only big game in the space. Whether you're a small guy just trying AI on your server, on your home server, or you're a huge, massive data center with thousands of nodes. The only game in town is NVIDIA right now.
Well,
so it's a great investment.
I would say.
Over a long enough period of time, it's going to zero against SPX, though.
Yeah.
That's a hot take right there. Everything, look at any big company from 50 years ago. Where are they now? They're still probably a player. Maybe they're not. Eventually, nothing keeps up with SPX.
Okay.
Individual corporations make mistakes.
Sure.
They get complacent. Someone else is hungrier. Someone else out-innovates them. And then they keep sliding down the SPX rankings until they're out of the 500.
Well, NVIDIA will be there for a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It looks like that.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not going to be around to see where they are in 50 years anyway, so.
Well, you never know how long it takes for something to get decimated too. Apple was really at top of their game just 10 years ago. And now, especially with AI terms, people are not happy with the way Apple AI is working right now.
Okay.
And so they're kind of losing their dominance in that space.
Well, 10 years ago when they were smoking hot, it was because of these babies.
They're still making them.
So they're still making them, but now everybody's got one. Back then, everybody didn't have one, so you had that market. People more and more and more. Yeah. Now they got to sell you a new one. Yeah. Now they got the, I don't know, whatever it is, the Apple 400 or whatever. Yeah. Apple 17. Yeah. Yeah, whatever it is. But Apple still has a lot of other good products. And they do. They got a hell of a business. So.
And they're also top 5 pretty much at all times.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's not going to take a very long time for something to slide out of it. So Starbucks.
Right.
Early 2000s, late 2000s, before 2010. One of our marketing geniuses in the world is Mr. Dan Kennedy. And he used to have this joke about Starbucks trying to open another Starbucks inside the bathroom of an existing Starbucks. That's hilarious, right?
That is good. That is really good.
Yeah. And then across the world, they used to say, if you have a Starbucks in the neighborhood, the real estate value goes up, tends to go up. That was true for a while.
So if I build a Starbucks next to my restaurant, will the value of my restaurant be more?
If it's 2010. It probably would be in 2010.
I'm just joking.
No, I'm not really. The real estate values did tend to go up. They did studies on that. They compiled data on that. The values went up, but that's not true anymore for a lot of cases. Okay. Because now a lot of people don't even want to go into Starbucks. My personal experience is you go into a Starbucks, it's kind of smelly. Tables are kind of sticky. It's not quite the hangout as it used to be.
Yeah, I would never, I mean, I wasn't going into Starbucks to hang out. I would just grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But
that was their whole marketing for a long time.
Not a big spend $7 for a mocha something or other. Just give me I'm kind of a grassroots,
Yeah.
My cup of coffee at my restaurant costs like $2.40 40 cents or 50 cents or something.
Yeah.
And you can have more than just keep going.
Oh, that's
till
with
you-
refills.
Yeah, till you're not thirsty.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a different demographic and people that where I'm at, and
Yeah.
the people that I got coming in. I mean, they come back.
Yeah.
And my tables are clean; they're not sticky.
That's a big one for anyone coming back.
Kind of might smell like grease or something in there because of the kitchen, but hey, that's what you get when you got a place like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But the point remains, I mean, if you look at any major corporation from 50 years ago, there's a huge chance they're not in SPX 500 at all.
For sure.
Or even if they're there, they're like a tiny player towards the tail end of the 500.
I think we ought to have a list of the companies that were in it 50 years ago.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. I mean, long-term, mega long-term, you're thinking multiple decades, the only sure bet is SPX. Of course, short-term, you can see the tailwinds for NVIDIA because there's no competition, as you said.
Not at this point in time.
Not at this point, and people continue to invest billions of dollars. So the chip shortage is going to continue whether gamers love it or not. Gamers were hating on miners back in 2020, 2021, when the 30 series of NVIDIA consumer graphics were launched, right?
Right.
And there were queues outside of Micro Center. I know I lined up outside one in Brooklyn, and people would line up at 4 a.m., freezing cold, just to get a GPU. And gamers were really pissed at people who were mining. And now they're pissed at AI people. I was at Costco, and this gentleman starts talking to me, and he is a gamer. He's pro gaming, and he now hates AI people because they're buying stuff. But that's just going to continue. The shortage is going to continue, and that's just great news for NVIDIA, isn't it?
For sure.
So,
what do you think? 10 years? 10 years, then it might start to be caught up?
For the other competitors?
Yeah.
Might happen in 2 years, might happen in 6 months.
Okay.
Competition is fierce. And other players also have billions of dollars for research and development. It's not like NVIDIA is the only one who's got it.
Right there. Everybody's spending so much money.
And TSMC is open for business, right?
What's TSM3?
Taiwan Semiconductor, right?
Yep.
They're open for business. So
right.
If you have the architecture, you can take it to them and you can have them, I mean, if you're big enough, you can have them start spinning out those plates for you.
Right.
So NVIDIA is the only game in town now, and they have a huge lead against everyone else because of how long they've been in the lead.
Right.
But it doesn't take very long for that to evaporate either. So I wouldn't be sure to call it a 10-year bet or a 20-year bet either.
Right.
It could happen. I'm just saying there's no way to say, so I got to be alert.
I just pulled the 10-year number out because you said that Apple was 10 years ago smoking hot. And,
they were.
Now.
Even now, I mean, Apple laptops are really good compared to other laptops in terms of battery life and performance and not being degraded when you're just on battery instead of being plugged in, right? They're still as performant. But now other competitors are catching up. And it doesn't take very long for things to go haywire for Apple. I'll share an example with you. I was in Bangkok, and I had some trouble with just the trackpad of this laptop right here. Trackpad and the keyboard, and they were intermittently performing and intermittently just getting disconnected. Onboard laptop and trackpad. And I take it to the biggest, like the Apple Glass store, make an appointment with them in Bangkok. And I take it to them and they say, oh, it looks like you have a problem with either your device's keyboard and trackpad, or it might be the logic board, we cannot say. So here's how it's going to go. You're going to leave your laptop with us. We're going to order the exact trackpad and keyboard for your laptop. Replace that, see if the problem still continues, and in that case, we're going to order another logic board and replace that for you. And this whole process was supposed to take at least 15 days just to get the keyboard and the trackpad. And then another 15 to 30 days if logic board replacement would be required. So I would essentially be outside of a laptop, outside of a device that I paid $6,000 for essentially a month and a half.
Right.
And this is one of their most popular laptops. It's current generation, at least it was back then, right?
Yeah.
We're talking to the biggest store in the country, and they don't have spares and they can't get them in time in the store. I had to actually write to Apple management to have it returned to me because I had to fly out of the country.
So you did give them your computer?
I did. They couldn't fix it in 15 days. They had it for approximately a month.
Huh.
They couldn't fix it.
That's unacceptable.
Unacceptable, right? I'm paying
I
extra
think
for
so.
the insurance.
I think so.
So you can lose your lead like that. That's the whole point. Over the long term, though, you can always bet on SPX because the most innovative, the most customer-centric, the most appealing companies will always float to the top of that. If you just want to forget it, set and forget it, it's always SPX. Never this stock or this coin or that altcoin or whatever. In fact, it's the same thing with crypto. Every altcoin, even if it does a parabolic run against Bitcoin price, over time tends to zero against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is for crypto space what SPX is for stock markets. Everything over time, even the big ones like Ethereum and Solana, they tend to zero. They never achieve their all-time high that they once had. They're never going to get back to that against Bitcoin. Against US dollar, sure. Against Bitcoin, never again. Nothing, no exceptions to that rule.
I don't know anything about Bitcoin.
It's the same thing as stocks though, right? Bitcoin is the SPX. Think of Bitcoin as SPX. So if you have stocks, individual stocks, and you compare them to SPX over a long enough period of time, they all tend to zero. Short term, you can make a lot more money with individual stocks.
Right.
If you're good at it, if you're paying attention. Okay, let's keep going. Just an interesting thing that I like to talk about. Here's another thing. So this is continuing the theme of lower disposable income. Chicago homeowners now face a record 16.7% property tax hike.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is. It's happening now. So that's the political thing that always keeps happening. They overspend, then they print money, then they tax people more. America went to war over 2% taxes.
Chicago is just, God, it's so expensive. Illinois is all messed up.
Yeah.
Illinois is just messed up.
But everything is getting like right there, right?
Yep.
Everything just follows. It might not be in the lead, but
they always want to
follows.
raise real estate taxes around here. We got pretty high real estate tax in this area.
Yeah.
It's all about schools.
Yeah.
I mean, a tremendous amount, I don't know what it is, but it's all about schools.
Well, that's a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And now, here's what I was just talking about. Bitcoin correlation with NASDAQ hits highest since 2022. So now Bitcoin is getting correlated with NASDAQ. Essentially, over time, you're going to find Bitcoin is not going to be as explosive or volatile as it has been.
Mm-hmm.
The volatility and explosiveness continues to go down, while the correlation with traditional stock markets continues to rise. So eventually, it's just going to be hand in hand. That's what the trend looks like. Over time, the S-curve on Bitcoin is diminishing, and now the growth rate as well as the volatility is diminishing. It's not quite at SPX levels just yet, but eventually over a long enough period of time, it will be.
Okay.
So that's basically Bitcoin acting like SPX. And finally, MicroStrategy. You know about MicroStrategy, right?
No, sir.
So MicroStrategy is this company held by this guy. You can see him on the screen, Michael Saylor. And he has been a great big spokesman of Bitcoin. And he pivoted his entire company. It's a listed company. It's a massive company. He pivoted the entire firm towards just their core business model being buying Bitcoin. That's it.
That's all he's buying is
That's
Bitcoin?
all he's doing. And he's got over 600,000 Bitcoin. His company's got over 600,000 Bitcoin. Massive, right?
Yeah.
At close to $100,000 per Bitcoin. So you do the math on that.
Well, he's probably not driving a Chevy Suburban.
Who knows? But he's still buying more, even though we are now noticing headwinds, right? The price has fallen from 125 to 94. Probably going to fall more. I don't know anything about the short term. No one can predict what happens in the short term.
Right.
But he's really betting that over the long term, this thing goes to $1 million or more.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So he's essentially getting a 95% discount on that, 90% discount on that.
If it goes to $1 million.
Or two.
Well,
I have a friend who says he runs, so just for context, he runs let's say a small boutique investment firm in Switzerland. Okay. And a lot of high net worth individuals are his clients. And this friend tends to believe that Bitcoin is eventually getting to $10 million. He doesn't know when, maybe 2035, maybe 2040, but it is happening, he says. It's gonna happen. Anyway, food for thought. All right, so that brings us to the close of this news section. I want to pivot to start talking to you about Green Lantern. And first of all, why don't we start with a little bit of intro on what makes Green Lantern unique and stand out? Because every time you go on Google or even ask AI now about the top places to hang out in Madison, Green Lantern does come up.
Well, a lot of places come up,
Yes, yes,
you know.
but you have institutional status, right?
Well, I don't know if we have that. You know, we just used to be a corner old bar in McFarland. You know, I mean, we're on the lake. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
It's, you know, about the same. The food's good. The employees I have are really nice, and
yeah,
you know, people love coming there. I
yeah.
mean, we got something going on. I guess we're just lucky. Somebody's watching over me.
But we're going to try to quantify some of that luck today. So let's go back to when you got started in the business, right? And tell me about your partnership. How was this deal structured when you took over? You were pretty young when you took over. So how did this deal get structured? How did you buy your equity in the process?
Well, uh, my stepdad and his brother bought this old rundown bar and restaurant on a lake, and 4 years later, my stepdad died,
Oh, sorry to hear
and
that.
yeah, um, and after a couple of years of probate and whatever, his brother was tired of working every day, you know, and not having a lot of time, and wanted a partner. And the attorney for my mother said, Tom's not doing anything and you need a partner. Why don't you guys try to make a go of it? And that's how I got in. I mean, life is a path.
Yeah,
And my path took me there. I don't know how I ended up there. So, but we ended up being partners, and he took me under his wing. I was like 26 and he was 40-ish, maybe. What was that, 1983? He was born in 34. No, he was more about 50, 49. So I had a good, mature individual helping me, and he knew the business sort of, or how to run a business, and I learned a lot from him. And, you know, it took a long time. I mean, we worked a lot of years together, and now it's 49 years later.
yeah.
Well, actually, they bought it in 77, and so that it's been in the family for 49 years. I didn't come in until 1983 when they got it all figured out after my stepdad died. So
Okay.
that makes me 83, 25, 43 years I've been
Yeah,
half an owner of it. So that's how it happened.
yeah.
You know, as far as the structure, I mean, we were just 50-50 partners, and
So you didn't have to buy into the equity, or did you have to buy into the 50% that you got? Was it just sweat equity? How was it structured? If you...
I had to buy my mom out.
Okay.
So it went into the estate, and so I had to over time pay her off.
Okay.
I had to assume a loan that they had at the bank, and I had to pay her, and you know, that was so long ago. But in the deal, I got the business and the real estate. You know, there's a
Yeah.
land and building. So in the when I bought in, I got to buy the whole half, land, building, and business.
Okay.
And the business was probably worth about zero. It wasn't making any money. We'd lose money in the winter and make some money in the summer to, you know, we kept it rolling. But then we added on, we made an addition. My partner said, you know, if we're going to do this together, we got to add on so we have more space.
Yeah.
And then we were actually able to make a living.
Yeah.
But we weren't extremely profitable. We didn't make a lot of money, you know. We really haven't really made money. I mean, we've made money, but it's been work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things I've noticed about you in the short window that I've known you is three things that I've always taken away from looking at you. A, you are always on time. You respect time, your own time, everybody else's time. You're very punctual.
I try to.
You absolutely are. And the second thing is that you have a tremendous work ethic. You work very hard. So that's something that I have noticed. And I assume that's been going on since you took over the restaurant. You've been working hard on it.
Yep.
And the third thing I think I personally attribute, uh, something that I actually also learned from you was how much gratitude you have for everything you have received despite your hard work. You seem to have a lot of gratitude for the people around you, for the situations that you stepped in. And that tends to always remind me to remain more positive. So I have to thank you for that.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you.
No, I'm learning. Like I've begun trying to focus more on the positives that have happened with me instead of the negatives. That's just given me a better outlook.
Okay.
So I just had to bring that over. Okay, so you worked with a long-term partner for a very long time, for several decades. What are the pros and cons? I know one of the things you said was you learned a lot from your partner, Al. What's the biggest challenge you had working with a partner for such a long period of time?
I, I don't know. Life is challenging.
Yeah,
He's a pretty easy guy to get along with, so I'm pretty lucky. I'm sure that a lot of partnerships are extremely challenging, and ours probably had challenges. But he's a really good guy. My stepdad, his brother, was just this really super. Their family, the Wheeler family, was just a really nice, excellent, kind. From the grandfather down to Al, and then my stepdad Ollie, they're just a super great family, easy to get along with. They didn't have a lot of greed or a lot of needs, but they were hard working. I might have got my work ethic a little bit out of there because I've been working there with them. Well, I tell you, it's strange how life goes. Um, if my dad, my father, he passed away when he was 29, and I was 6 years old, and I was so lucky to have Ollie, Al's my former partner's brother, come along because he was a super nice guy, cared about people. He did a lot for just being a dad to me that I didn't have. And then I ended up somehow, my first dad dies, and I end up with this guy. And then this guy, he was in the bar business, and they bought this old rundown bar, and then I ended up there.
yeah,
In my path of life, that's pretty strange. So he was like, Al was kind of like my dad,
Hmm.
but he wasn't. But he was a really kind and easy to get along with, and we didn't have a lot of problems. And it could be his personality
yeah.
and my personality. So I know of partnerships
Oh yeah,
that
see that all the
I
time.
could tell you about one right now that's just crazy how it's gone just
What's
into
going
the
on? What's going on? Tell me a little bit about it.
well, there's a two guys got a restaurant and bar,
Yeah,
young kids,
yeah,
young guys, young being in their under 30s,
yeah,
and one of the partners went south, and now they're having he it's going into legal stuff and problems. So just one guy decided he didn't want to work. They bought into a restaurant and bar, and then the guy goes, the one guy decided that I own my own business. I don't have to be open
yeah.
on this day. I don't want to work. And then all of a sudden something else happened, and not to get into any specifics, but the one kid's still in there trying to make it go, and they got to figure out how to get the other one out without there's a lot of BS going on. So, and I'm sure there's other partnerships that,
All the
stuff
time.
goes, you got two people,
Yeah,
for two people to get along,
it's one of the mistakes when I was in college.
partnerships are tough.
They're tough. I started a business with two of my friends. They weren't really the closest of friends. We weren't the closest of friends, but we were pretty good with each other, right? And we thought we could work together to have a business.
Did it ruin your friendship?
Yes. Haven't spoken to him in about 12 years now.
Isn't that terrible?
Terrible.
Yeah.
And I just rue the day when I proposed that business idea.
Yep.
And the thing is, the business did not succeed either. It couldn't. All three of us were to blame, especially me, because I was depending upon them with unset expectations, and they were depending upon me with unset expectations. And we never really sat down as partners to talk about what we really needed each other to do. And so we never had this milestone. We had these meetings every day. And instead of discussing, we were just discussing plans instead of holding each other accountable to what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
We never really had a clear demarcation of what we wanted to do or what each of us was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So we ended up wasting a lot of time, a lot of money, ruining that friendship,
Yep.
decimating a business model that could have succeeded.
Oh, I had an experience kind of like that too. So, that was a different bar and restaurant I owned with a couple guys. So it
Yeah.
happens.
It happens. It happens. But you
And
had
then you don't have to talk to him anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that a
Not that
shame?
that's a good thing.
It's
but,
a shame. It's a shame.
So I guess if that's how it is,
Yeah. It's a universal story.
here's life.
Yeah.
That's, stuff happens in life.
But you had a successful partnership. So just a quick last question about that.
Yeah.
When you had disagreements, which I'm sure you had over decades, how did you resolve those?
Disagreements?
Disagreements about business strategy or how things should be, or now you both had great work ethic. So that part is easy and that takes care of a lot of problems right then and there.
Yeah.
He was a little bit older. He was significantly older than you. So
Yeah.
he took care of the accountability part, I'm imagining, in the beginning. And then,
we both worked together pretty well.
yeah.
I didn't push him on stuff that maybe I should have asked for, but, you get up tomorrow and you go back to work,
So you focused on the long term instead of the short term. You just let go of the short
Well, I
term.
think at certain times, like we should have done some things but things were going along okay.
Yeah.
Like, say, like early on in the end of the first decade, on a Friday night, we would serve 550 people on a Friday night.
Wow.
And times have changed. There's more restaurants. There's more places to go. And we don't serve near that many people. But in hindsight, if you had that many customers, because there weren't a lot of restaurants around, we probably should have raised our prices a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah, and we didn't,
Yeah.
in hindsight,
Yeah.
you go, when you see now, going from the 550 people number is in the summer. We're on a lake and we got all these boaters and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But there weren't any Red Robins and there weren't any Chili's and there wasn't all these other places to go. And plus there's other restaurants now that have perked up. But yeah, so we didn't. But we were busier than hell. And when you're busy, you're reasonably successful because you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You weren't doing a bad job because people kept coming back. And now, I'll tell you now, after all these years, I get people that just all of a sudden they're going, "We love this place. God, thanks for being open." And I'm like, "Here, this place? What the heck?" But I got a lot of good employees.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn lucky with the staff I got and how hard they work. And but those people all, you know why they're working for me, because they all need money.
Yeah.
And when it's not busy and they want customers, I feel bad for them. They got bills to pay. One woman left her husband and she's poor and trying to get on her own and doesn't have money, and there's all that. A lot of those people that work for me are living. I'll tell you what, some days they might not show up for work, but they will always be there the day the paychecks show up.
That's true.
It's true, man.
That's true.
They need their money.
Yeah.
And You know, I mean, it's like I'm obviously working to make money for myself, but mostly, you know, I'm running that place now because those people need a place to work, and those
Mm,
people are making money, and they're good to me, and they're good people, so I feel encumbered. I got to keep the ball rolling. These
yeah,
people are good, so
yeah,
it's that's sort of the deal.
yeah.
So
Okay, people have a lot of myths about owning restaurants.
a lot of what
Myths.
myths?
Yeah. What would
Don't
you?
buy one.
Huh?
Don't buy one.
Don't buy one.
There's a lot of other businesses you can go into,
So,
with less of the hassles and headaches and hard work.
so would you, if you were starting today as a young man, again, would you go into the restaurant business knowing what you know? I know things kind of lined up for you.
That's a good way to put it. That path sort of sucked me in. There was
Yes.
like a Venturi that all of a sudden I ended up there.
But let's say you didn't have that automatic lining up of things.
Right.
Would you still choose the restaurant business, or what would you be doing instead? What were you looking at, maybe if you recall, or what would you be doing instead, knowing everything that you now know about restaurant business and business growth in general, business ownership in general? What kind of
If
business?
I had to pick a different path,
Yes. What would you pick?
oh boy. Well, I wasn't a very good student because I played too hard when I was in college.
That's very nice.
Yeah, yeah, I played way too hard.
Yeah.
But some of the more guys, I mean, I guess you would look at it as like, who do you see that maybe that's what you would like to do? And it's an interesting question because my son Max is 23, and he's been working at the restaurant since he was probably 14,
Yeah.
bussing tables or whatever. And now he still does, but he has another job. He graduated from college last year, and he's working. And I would tell him, don't don't do this.
Mm.
I think he likes it. I said, it's easy for him to just to come and bartend and do stuff or cook. But he doesn't have you got to deal with employees. There's an ancient Danish curse. May you have many employees.
Sounds like something Danes would say.
Anyways, and I really don't want him to do that for the rest of his life.
So what else?
And he's
Like,
23.
so fine. For Max, what would you recommend if he came to you for advice?
Well, he graduated with a degree in finance. I think he ought to try to take care of people's money and have more freedom. You can set your schedule sort of when you're a financial advisor, and you're a little more free. The restaurant business, you don't really own it. It owns you.
Yeah.
If you're an employee, that's different. You just come and go, punch in, leave, get your you don't go to bed at night wondering, is Joe coming in tomorrow morning to cook? Or, I got a project coming up in a month and a half trying to redo a floor. And I'm thinking about, I got to call a cabinet guy. I got to get a hold of my electrician. I need the plumber. I just called the pop guy. And my employees don't have to think about that, but that
Sure.
stuff. And I mean, I'm not complaining about it. That stuff sort of gives me energy, I
Yeah.
mean, just stuff in life, it keeps you occupied. But I think, he's 23.
Yeah.
You don't want to I'm 70. You don't want to be running a bar and restaurant when you're 70. I mean, I do, because I got so much experience at it, and it's sort of my life, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I'm wired. But if I was him, I'd probably try to be a financial advisor, or
Still a business owner, though.
well, like if you went to work for, I don't know, whatever, there's a bunch of financial
Sure.
services around. You don't have to be a Fisher investment guy or this guy. I mean, there's all sorts of offshoots, but something in that. Right now, he's doing sales for this company. He got a job just recently, and he's doing this. They're in the printer business, and he's trying to figure out how to. He's only 23, so he's learning a lot just by working for this company.
Of course.
If he did that for a couple, 3 years, he's going to learn so much. The kids are. He's got a really good work ethic, and he cares, and he's got emotion. But he'll learn a lot, and maybe just go into sales. Maybe you could get into sales of something so that have a life.
Yeah.
Like I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday forever. I work holidays. Max, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can make as much money or maybe even way more than me and have a life where you don't have to be encumbered by responsibilities and just the day-to-day, everyday sort of thing. But some people really get some people get a charge out of it. It gives you energy. You got to work every day.
Yeah.
I'm on my feet all the time, so I'm reasonably active, and activity is good for a human if something else doesn't get you, right?
But would you still rather have the optionality of coming in and working whenever you wanted to, as opposed to having to worry about everything every day? The optionality is nice. You can still come into work when you feel like it.
Yeah.
The optionality is nicer.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling my clients. You got to think about building equity so that if you want to take a 5-month, 6-month vacation around the world, you can. And the business continues to run without you.
Right.
When you're working on building that business or scaling that business or growing your equity.
Right.
Instead of just managing the day-to-day. I keep talking about that.
Yeah.
And so
so you got into business that was selling, and you had salesmen, and then you own it, but they're getting the stuff sold, and these guys are sending it out.
Yeah.
I don't pick something. I don't know anything. Hair care products,
whatever,
shampoo.
Yeah.
And then you can have a life, and you got other people doing it.
But even restaurants, right? There are massive chains with restaurants.
There are. So you don't have to be an owner and be there. You get other people to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a victim of being more hands-on, and
you can still do that if you want to. That's the thing. But you got to build the systems where if you wanted to just let go for a while, you could.
Right. Well, maybe that's coming.
That's coming. Talk to me about that.
Maybe.
Talk to me about that, though.
Who knows?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I just don't think for the record, I would like my son to, cultivate other things in life. Don't do what I did. You know? It seems like in restaurants that when the family takes over, unless things are right, they can screw things up.
Anyone can.
Yeah.
Anyone can.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the other advantage of systemizing processes and also having documentation. So I'm going to ask you questions about what you're planning, but my general go-to advice is systemize your processes. And instead of saying Al is going to do that or Lydia is going to do that, say XYZ position is responsible for this, this, and this. And ABC position is responsible for this, this, and this. And so what that does is it creates a system where you can actually open up another restaurant because you have brand equity. And you can just hire people to fill those positions. And that becomes a revolving door kind of thing. And now I'm talking about HR, even though I'm not good at it. But my strategy has always been to let someone else take care of things I'm not good at.
Yeah, I'm kind of bad at that sort of strategy, I think.
You manage people.
But I had another restaurant, and we were talking about, and I had a cousin of mine that was my best friend, and I expected him to work as hard as I thought he should work. And
but he was a partner. He was a partner.
Yeah.
He wasn't replaceable.
Right. And it didn't go well. So whatever.
Yeah.
That was another life lesson.
Yes.
I think you're learning every day.
Yeah.
Every day things change, so you learn something every day.
Yeah. Mine was I'm not going to have partners ever. Because think of the flip side. If things go well, they go well. But A, statistically, that's unlikely. B, when things go down or they don't go so well, what do? Now you have to buy them out.
Yep.
Now you got to keep it going while they're slacking off.
Right.
So you become more responsible than you should be.
That's true.
But if you just had an employee, even a high-level one, even a CEO, you can replace them. Might take a while. You can replace them.
Right.
And that's my takeaway. Like, I'll even do profit sharing, but I'm never doing equity sharing with anyone ever again. Except investors who are completely sleeping off. That's still doable.
Okay.
But I'm never doing equity ever again with partners. I don't want hands-on partners ever. Because they get to have the decision-making power as
Right.
much as I do.
Right.
And what happens when we come to a situation, inevitably, where we disagree with the direction in which the business should go, or how we should tackle a particular problem, or how we should handle the, I would say, even the day-to-day, right? How to systemize that, how to handle that. And if they start slacking off, then it's all on me. And if I find a CEO at that point, then this person might object to that.
I agree. I agree.
So what's your succession plan with Green Lantern? I'd hope to talk about it later, but what's your succession plan now if Max has not taken over?
I'd have to sell my share of the business to my partner or somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the last couple of weeks, people ask me, how long are you going to keep working? Aren't you going to retire?
Yeah.
And I look and I go, well, I've owned my own business since I was 27 and I'm 70. So I've sort of been retired since I was 27. But I've been working.
But you've been working.
You know, and I guess I would have to just sell. You know, in order to retire, I think I would have to sell. I don't think I can. In that business, I don't know. I mean, so I guess I don't have a true answer for you because I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but when you're talking about selling, would you sell to someone like yourself, like you were, or?
Well, I believe I would have to offer it to my partner.
Okay.
Who's my business partner.
So she would have to buy.
Well, I would have to offer it to her and go, hey, I'm, you know, and then what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So when Al wanted to retire, he came to me and said, I want to retire at the end of the year. And I didn't really want to own the whole thing.
Mm.
So I let his daughter, who's a hard worker, she's a pretty hard worker, and she worked for us. I let her buy his share out.
Mm.
Now that's interesting because she still calls me the boss.
Huh. Even though she's 50%.
Yes.
Yeah.
When shit's wrong,
then
hey, what's going on? What are we going to do? I mean, she does, you know, so I think they all look at me as I'm the guy.
Well, you are.
And
you are.
Well, I guess, but, you know.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I just have a lot of experience. You know, I know it's going to rain before it's going to rain, I guess. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it's just, first, you've been doing it for so long, you know, stuff's going to happen. Like, I hear a cooler that's making a stupid noise. I go, oops, I better call this guy. Something's going wrong. Or, you know, just things, you know, we're going to redo the floor like maybe you've heard. And, you know, I got ideas and know how to get it done.
Yeah.
Because I remodeled that bar and built that bar and did all that stuff 30 years ago. I can get it done.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so.
That's the value of
that's why they call me,
you know, tens of thousands of hours.
Yeah. I mean, I get, you know, one of the knuckleheads in there goes, I was standing there and he goes, well, are you working? And I go, well, not, you know, I was just standing there for a little bit and I was working, but I was just standing there and he was being smart and trying to give me the Jones about, are you working? And I look at him and I go, well, you know, not really, but they pay me for what I know around here, not what I do.
Right.
And the rest of it is whatever and keeping everything going, just keeping the wagon going that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it veers off course and you got to pull it back on, but whatever. I mean, it's pretty insignificant. I'm not, you know, whatever. So
if you sell to your partner or to someone else, if she's not interested, I don't know if you guys have had this discussion so far.
She doesn't want to talk about that. She likes having me around.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because of those 40,000 plus hours of experience you've got. with the business.
Oh yeah, I guess you're putting it in a number. I never thought of that, but yeah, I mean,
Might be more like
having me
80,000 or
around.
100,000 with because it's 2,000 hours per year at least as a full-time person, right? You got this as a full-time thing going on, even though you may not be there full-time, but it's got
Oh
more.
yeah, no,
It's more than full-time for you.
Yeah.
So it's 100,000 hours of experience. Malcolm Gladwell says 10,000 for expertise. You got 10x that number on that business.
Well, okay.
How would you arrive at a valuation whenever you decide to make this happen?
Evaluation of the business?
Yeah, because land and that stuff can be appraised.
Yeah, well, the land and stuff could be appraised, but it's a piece of lake property, and it's a big piece of property. That thing's it would probably be more than what the appraisal is, but that's neither here nor there. The business, I don't know, they got formulas, it's 3 to 5 times
EBITDA.
what your whatever your profit is. It's something, and they figure it out over a couple of years or 3 years. Different years are better and different years are worse. So yeah, I think you'd find the price of the business somewhere in that that sort of using a formula, 3 to 5 times whatever your share is worth, I guess.
Yeah.
If you ask your accountant, that's probably what they would tell you.
Yeah.
My boys at Baker Tilly would say that, I'm sure. So,
yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And so how do you see this happening? It's probably going to be like an eventual buyout, or do you expect sort of a one-day close and then take the money and get out of it? How do you see it happening?
To close that place?
No, to close out your share of the equity, to close on that deal when that happens.
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to come to a price and then figure out how they can pay you.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to talk to your accountant or somebody and going, well, don't take it all right now.
Yeah.
Get them to pay you over time, or maybe you want it all right now. I guess it depends on what happens. I mean, how do you know?
But you wouldn't be open to...
What if I died? If I died, my wife wouldn't. My wife, there's no way she should be in that business.
Yeah.
There's no experience. She's a cancer research nurse. So they'd have to figure out a way to whatever. I mean, if I'm dead, I don't have to worry about it. I mean? They'll have to figure it out.
Well, that's the advantage of loving what you do, right? You still enjoy what you're doing, and you're...
I do now and then. It's had some challenges in the last few days, but, I got nice employees.
How do you hire them?
They, expect less than... how do we hire them?
Because wages are a problem. Labor costs have exploded while people are still struggling.
True.
You have to maintain margins, and you want to make sure you only hire the good ones. You were talking about the...
Well, yeah, and you hire after COVID.
Yeah.
You couldn't find employees.
Yeah.
So you'd hire anybody that could breathe. And then you ended up, and at that point in time, no one wanted to work. The people you hired, we had some bad employees.
Yeah.
But you kept them around because you can't run one of those places without somebody, right?
Yeah.
Lately, in the last couple of years, I think the labor market's gotten more favorable. COVID, I think they just gave everybody money, and then everybody decided they didn't want to work.
Yeah.
And they're not giving money out now, and people don't have it. So now the pendulum on that one has swung probably about a year or so ago, maybe a little bit more, where people are looking for employment. During COVID, we would have online, get people to come in, and they'd come in and they'd interview, and one guy goes, yeah, I really want to work here, and I go, okay, you want to start tomorrow at 4? I'll be there.
Yeah.
He never showed. They ghost you. No one showed up.
Wow.
And that's the truth. Now, the last couple of years, last year and a half, people need to work. We had we hired a girl last Thursday afternoon who just drove here from Arizona, left out there, and she came in and put a job application in because her grandfather worked for me back in the 90s, and she started. We need another good one lately, and we talked to just talked to some of the employees, and this one gal knew someone that they're very interested in, she might be coming on board. So little people walk in the door. That's a lot of it. We hired a guy that he worked for 19 years at a restaurant that he went in to go to work at 3:00 on a Friday afternoon and the doors were locked. And he just walked in the door one evening when I'm desperate. I thought the good Lord was sending me somebody, and I think he was, because the guy's really easygoing, hardworking, super nice guy. So you get lucky.
You get lucky. What about retention? How do you keep the good people? You've had some people who've been with you for decades.
Yeah.
And now you said it yourself, there's a lot of competition, plus you have corporations also paying a lot of money and a lot of perks.
Yeah.
How do you keep the good ones?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, it's just like John started working for me when he was young. He was young, 20-ish, mid-20s. And he left and went to the Navy. And he came back from the Navy and he started working again, and he met his wife and they got kids, and he's still, I don't think he'll stay with me a lot longer because, he's been doing it for so long, but he works nights, and so he works good for his schedule because he can take care of his kids in the day, and then he works. But he's been working for me for 25 years. Chenda's been working for me for 15 or 20. You got just I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I treat people nicely.
Yeah.
I'm not over your shoulder watching what you do every minute and micromanaging you, and I don't make people do stuff that I wouldn't do. Matter of fact, I have a hard time asking. I have to ask somebody. I can't go like, hey, grab the vacuum and clean the floor. It's mostly, hey, would you mind grabbing the vacuum and cleaning up down there, the janitor, stuff like that. Maybe I'm a whatever weakling or whatever, but I just don't.
Good manners going a long way.
Yeah, you
don't formally think about retention strategies. You just have that just by being a decent person, just being a good boss, That's one way to look at it.
I guess, yeah. I'm just how I am, I guess. I mean, I don't. I treat people how I'd want to be treated, and
Yes.
I can't be mean to people. And I struggle. I really struggle when I have employees that quit. I mean, I got people that work for me, and it hurts me. Like when they got to move on and find different paths in life, and I just I don't know. I guess I'm just good with people. Maybe I got that from my stepdad. My stepdad was a great guy. He worked in the bar business down on campus, and people loved him. So that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but you can figure it out, I guess. You know what I mean?
No, I can. What I'm seeing is a pattern of just recognition of what people do and noticing a lot of nice things about people.
Yeah.
That is what I notice about you. I've noticed about you since the day we met. So you appreciate the right qualities that people have, that people tend to take pride in themselves. And that kind of leads to a lot of retention within the business as well as in your personal life, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, those people might be working me for a long time, but they work hard.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna like, God, I can't believe they work that hard for me.
Yeah.
And they really, I mean, like I said, after COVID, we had some guys that were just like, oh my God, and it drove me to getting an antidepressant.
That's a great takeaway.
Driving me up crazy,
That's for me a great takeaway, because when I work with people like that, I'm very restless,
Yeah.
And I let them go, and it's like, I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I mean, I can't, like I said before, I have trouble asking people to do stuff. So.
No, but you just had a great lesson for me in there where you said, you got to keep the show going. You got to keep the party going. And if you have not so great people with you right now, that's the way it is. You got to keep going with them.
Yeah.
That's a very adaptable
If it doesn't kill you.
Yeah. Won't always be like that.
Anxiety, stress, you know, depression.
But it's not permanent, right?
Hopefully not.
It changes. It has.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
So that's a great lesson. I mean, if you're struggling with something and if it's not comfortable right now, it doesn't have to be that way forever.
Hopefully not.
Just get through it.
Well, keep pushing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your other choice? Run away?
Yeah, run away, close down shop. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, that, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We'll just keep.
So say you had $100,000 right now, cash injection that you wanted to put into your business, growth, expansion, whatever, right? What would you put it into? I know you're doing the floor.
Yeah, I'll do the floor, but
That's not 100K.
No. What would I do with $100,000?
Technology, automation, any of that? What are you?
Oh, you're going to pull the robot thing on me.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that, right?
You and I talked about it the other day when the fireplace guy was here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the robot thing is that you can, and the name of that company is Taobin, by the way. It's like an ATM in Thailand, right? Gives you drinks, about 100 different drinks, cold, hot,
Right.
lattes, coffees, teas, sodas, all kinds of drinks. And that's, doesn't seem to be very expensive to install, doesn't take a whole lot of space, but it's like a whole cafe right there. Yeah. And since we're talking about robotic arms don't cost that much. They don't cost that much, and the cost constantly goes down.
Yeah, can the robot cook a tenderloin to
Yes.
medium rare?
Better than human beings. It's got infrared sensors. Do human beings have infrared in their eyes?
Oh, yeah. I better get one. My wife burnt the hamburgers last night.
They're selling home-based robotic cooking things for $500 now.
I better get one.
Yeah.
She did. She cooked the hamburgers too. Well, I like my hamburgers medium rare, and these were cheapers.
Yeah.
Well, she meant well.
Yeah. So you're putting money into automation then? Automation and technology?
Great question. I need the flooring done. I could use my pier could be better, but that doesn't answer the automation. That big pier I got probably the biggest pier around, and the wood and stuff all could be redone and all this, but no, I wouldn't put $100,000 into my pier. That'd be like, I don't know. I'd have to do something smart with it. Maybe upgrade our POS, but our POS works pretty good. We've had it for a while.
What's the big pain right now? Let's focus on that. Like if you go through your entire week, look at your last week, what has been the pain point right now? What is something that has come up repeatedly over the last month that this thing is bothering?
Repeatedly?
Yes.
Well, I got rid of a woman cook the other day, and she'd been a pain. And that wasn't easy. I'm pretty attached to a lot of people. That sucked the life out of me. I don't know. I don't really think that she was happy working there. Mm-hmm. And just wasn't working. And I kind of got rid of her. So that was a pain for a month or so. But there was collateral damage with getting rid of her, because she had, like, her husband worked there, and now he aced us too. He just no-showed. He's mad because I got rid of her, and I think I knew that was coming. So that went away. That little incident the other night, it wasn't a recurring incident, but it's something in the bar business. The police sent in an underage kid
with the
beard.
Yeah.
Did I tell you this?
You told me just this morning.
Yeah, so that's effed up. So,
but those are
really
like
irritating.
Events,
it's deceit. It seemed deceitful to me.
Of course.
Like underhanded to do that. And they sent the kid in on Friday night when I'm busier than all get out, paying my bills, and they just ruined the whole karma of the evening. So, but that's not an everyday thing.
Yeah.
What
comes up repeatedly though? What bothers you? What irks you?
Well, nothing repeatedly. I mean, stuff that you got to deal with there is usually employee related. I mean, employee sick, or employee, called in because their mother died, or you got it. But that's just staffing issues, and that's never going away. That's like I told you before. May you have many employees.
Yeah.
You just got to. That's called running the show. So
Yeah.
that's the stuff that is always there, but I don't think there's a fix for that.
There might be.
Well, yeah, more robots because they don't call in sick.
Not necessarily just that. It's also about having someone else take care of the management and also using some sort of tech stack.
My partner does all of that.
Okay.
See, so that's not really on.
So that's not really on you.
Well, I'm there to bail you out. If you need me, I'm not working on a week ago Sunday, but I walked by and the place is busy, so I ended up working for a couple hours because they needed, assistance, which comes with the country.
Yeah.
That's a good problem because now you're busy.
Yeah.
I don't mind working.
No.
But as I'm getting older.
So you're in Mexico though, for 6 months.
Well, I can't help then.
Yeah.
But if you're not here, well, then it doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother you, but it does bother the business though.
Yeah. Well, they'll get through it, and we'll be open tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got in that instance, it was like I walk in and it's busy, and the glassware is piling up on the end of the bar because the bartenders are too busy serving people.
Yeah.
And they can't do so you need some. So I just started doing dishes.
Yeah.
And started stocking the bar because they were running out of something, or waited on a few customers just to get, you open up in the morning and there isn't a lot of people there and you're standing around, but sometimes there could be a lot of people there and you're running like, let's get going. And it's time to fillet the fish and get things taken care of. So that's the nature of the business. So that is, when you talked about Max or my son and well, find a business that you're it doesn't own you, and you don't have all that extra BS that comes with it. But if probably for a guy like me, that sort of gives me energy when stuff's going on. So I wake up in the morning and I get going. I don't know what I would do if I woke up in the morning and didn't own it. And what am I going to do? Go sit on the couch and watch TV? That doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I need things to do.
So let me ask you
how
this.
I am.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you wanted to expand, and I don't know if you've thought about this, but if you wanted to expand and have like a small chain of 5 Green Lantern restaurants.
No.
You never thought about that?
No.
Why is that?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh my God, too much responsibility.
Or maybe less. You can't have more than one without having systems that work without you.
Well, we opened that other one up on the lake right down the street.
Yeah.
It was pain and agony for, that one never made money.
Yeah.
We made money finally when we sold it because it was a big piece of lake property and we bought it for X and sold it for a bunch of money, so that'd be, I don't know. I don't know about that. No desire.
No desire.
No.
Okay.
I don't think I would open up another Green Lantern. I think if you went somewhere and opened up, went away from here and opened up another bar or something, restaurant, not up the street, but say,
other part of town.
Or
another part.
Just a different bar, different scheme, maybe in Stoughton or maybe in Sauk City or somewhere, but then it'd be more stuff for me. I'm too old for that now, so that's off. That's off.
You never thought about that?
No.
Okay.
No. That place keeps me busy enough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're busy. You're also very happy. Okay, let's talk about online reviews. Do you read those?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
You don't care about them at all? Do you have someone else who reads them?
Well, my partner, she reads them, so she sees stuff, but I'm not really, no.
Yeah, okay.
Usually, well, a lot of times you'll get stuff where it's just somebody's had a bad experience, and so they got to feel like they got to put their thing out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if you want my, like the Facebook thing, people got to put out, well, I cleaned my dishes today and I hung the laundry out and I did this and did that and, whatever and whatever. And I'm not a big talk about myself, like I don't, it's, so if someone gets online, I don't know, I guess I don't know. I've never looked it up. So I guess if I Googled Green Lantern, they might have reviews on it and then I could look at it. But, honestly, I've never looked at that. I've never done that.
Do you think those reviews, positive or negative, affect how new business comes in? New people find you?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to think that it does. I mean, that's just positive that would happen.
Yeah.
You get a lot of, I mean, people that are new that don't know about you that are driving by and go restaurant near me, and they would see it. So then you'd want to have a lot of stars and positive reviews.
Yeah.
A big. I'm sure that's has an impact, but a lot of stuff is also like word of mouth. The hockey rink down the road, and they have a tournament on a weekend and have 14 teams from around the state or whatever, and the place is full of people that haven't been around here. Someone at the hockey rink might say, they ask, well, where can we go for breakfast? And they might say, go there. Or where they go for fish or what, something. Someone at the rink's bound to tell them to go by our place because we're a mile away and we do a good job. Another way is these people come from out of the city or wherever, and they're staying at a hotel. And the guy at the hotel might go there. I mean, but they might say go to, I don't know, wherever. But word of mouth.
Yeah.
But I'm sure online stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to Google restaurant near me, and if they're within a mile of our place, they'd probably see something about us. So
yeah,
for sure.
And so if you think about recurring business versus new business or new customers, what percentage would you say is just recurring business, people who just come back frequently, periodically, versus how many are new?
Oh boy, I'll bet we got at least 2/3 are recurring people.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a repeat for what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you've been in there, I mean, you're a smart guy. You've been serving breakfast for all these years.
Yeah.
And that's we're coming.
Yeah.
You serve a good breakfast and people love it and they keep coming back. And then, when they have friends come into town, then they bring new people. I mean, but you get, I'm surprised people come from as far around as they do to come there and have breakfast sometimes. They're driving from 30 miles away to come and have breakfast. They must have nothing to do on a Sunday.
Or they're looking it up online. That really, yeah. So would you also say that you have an aging customer base, or do you also attract young people regularly? Especially for the recurring side, because that seems to be the major component.
The food part, we have it's probably aging.
Yeah.
The bar business is definitely aging. The golden years of the bar business are long gone now. And young people, they've got all kinds of different options now. In they don't drink like people used to.
Yeah.
The alcohol consumption, I mean, that's waning. You can ask any liquor guy that sells booze, beer guys, their businesses. The alcohol consumption and sales have been going down, at least around here. Kids are doing the Zyn things, or they're vaping, or whatever they're doing, right? And now they're doing different things, and so they aren't really going to the bars and drinking like people used to, and that's probably healthier, and it's their choices are more. The drinking and driving thing is definitely, know, for it's all for the good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's just how things are starting to go.
Okay.
Things are changing. When we first got the place back in the 70s and 80s, bar time was 1 o'clock in the morning, and we'd kick 15 or 20 people out of the bar at bar time on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And now bar time is later, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And we're closed at 10 because there's nobody out drinking.
Mm.
And that's just how it is.
Mm.
So we've got to figure out, we sell a lot of food, and that gets the people in the door. And, if they have some drinks, where we really make money is selling alcohol. That's just how it goes, so it's a struggle. There's another reason to tell Max, hey, it's not the whatever, it's there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how it goes.
Yeah. Now, how do you think you would advise someone to tackle this, I would say, slow down in alcohol consumption if they are also a restaurant owner? That's a macro trend. That's basically universal. Younger generations are just drinking less.
They are.
So what
they
else?
All Uber now too.
Huh?
We used to, there's drinking and drive back in the 90s.
Yeah.
80s, 90s, 2000s. They drink and people still do drink and then drive, but
yeah,
like my kids Uber all the time.
Yeah.
They don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
They've been trained. When I grew up, there weren't even seatbelts in cars, so I wasn't wearing seatbelts. I'll get in the car now. I'll drive, around town here, and I don't have to put my seatbelt on unless the noise starts irritating me.
Yeah.
Where I notice when my kids get in, the first thing they do is put their seatbelt on.
Right.
They've been trained that way.
Yeah.
And they've been trained on, don't get behind the wheel and drive when you've been drinking. So they're pretty solid. They're making good choices, which is nice.
From the business point of view, what alternatives could you offer as products or?
Oh, well, they got this. They're doing these things called mocktails now, which are drinks without liquor in them.
Yeah.
You
guys do those?
We really don't have any.
Okay.
I can't remember where we were. The family was just out, and my daughter ordered a mocktail. Can't remember where we were. So they're selling food drinks with fruit and stuff and charging you a lot of money.
Higher margins.
Oh, well, yeah.
Higher than alcohol even.
Well, unless you're selling real vodka.
Yeah.
Because that stuff, there's something that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
The booze prices have gone up, but the price of a bottle of vodka stayed pretty much the same for quite a while.
Okay.
And they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, they're selling you.
Why don't you add that?
Why don't I have what?
Mocktails to your menu.
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll have to go for it.
Yeah, you should.
The other thing they're selling now are the drinks with cannabis or something. What was one of my really good employees who's worked for me for a while sent me this yesterday. A friend of mine owns some company, would love to sell you this. And it's a 5 milligram THC infused rocket pop, some social drink, THC drinks.
Yeah.
So that could be stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Behl, I'm 70 years old. I don't think I'll be making a lot of tremendous decisions in 10 years about where this business is and what's going on, and it might
Fair
be
enough.
shorter than that, bro.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's do a rapid fire round before we close this out. It's been a pleasure talking to you, but I have a few more questions, and let's just go through them quickly, rapid fire. Okay. Tell me about the biggest mistake that you're still paying for, or that think about. You've got to have at least one over the decades.
Biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake that you're still regretting, still paying for, with respect to the business.
Oh, with the business? Oh. Oh, what would be the biggest mistake?
Could be personal too, if you're open to sharing that. I mean, for businessmen, it's like business people. Personal life is kind of intertwined with business life anyway.
Yeah.
So, what's the big thing that you think about?
My business? Well, I really don't know. That's a good question. I mean, my biggest mistakes are obviously things that aren't related to the business. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's just the place has been good to me over all the years.
Okay.
I guess I don't need a lot of.
Okay, fair enough. What is your one standout business decision then? You've made a lot of decisions, thousands of decisions. What's your one standout that really helped?
Well, I think that was like obviously after and it wasn't. It actually probably was my first partner. I mean, when I got in the business and I'm 27, and the biggest decision was, if we're going to make a living here, we got to add on. And so we put this nice, reasonably big addition on. That was a dining room. And we started doing the building, and then all these people are seeing, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it generated interest. But then opening up that extra space gave us the ability to do more business. Convoluted in that was, now the kitchen was too small to handle the size of the dining room area, so then we had to add on. So we've added on, and that place was just this really old rundown bar and restaurant, and by adding on and making it nicer, and then when COVID came and we were closed, we remodeled the inside and made it look a lot nicer. So just fixing the building up and adding on, and then it just provided, the opportunity to have more customers, which indeed in retrospect, it grew your sales and your business. And then the other things just come with the countryside around here. McFarland was like, I don't know, 3,000 people, and now it's probably 9, but also Madison has grown out tremendous. I mean, it just covers everywhere now. So the growth of Dane County has really been instrumental. So got good people that work for us, and we sell good food, and that sells itself, and then people talk about you. If you're not doing that job, the bad word spreads a lot faster than your review. When you look at those reviews, oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. Oh, this guy says it's terrible. We're not going there. You could have a couple guys go, it was great, but bad stuff will take you down the drain.
Well, maybe you should start thinking about having a formal reputation management system. A lot of businesses do that now for the online reviews.
What businesses are doing that?
Pretty much all of them, especially the new ones. They really like to talk about, there are agencies that will take care of reputation management for you. So respond to reviews, get criticisms, offer redos on experiences. Someone says that it wasn't great for me, XYZ thing happened.
Well, I'll have to start looking at it and see how many bad ones I get. My partner looks at it and she'll tell me, she'll kind of come in with something, but you hear about it. I mean, usually if someone's having a bad, they usually let you know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they might not, but
especially with younger people, they don't.
Yeah.
They just spend the money, get out and write a review.
Yeah, I guess they do. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't go back.
And that's just,
I mean, if I have a bad experience at a place, I had one last year, and just like, well, I didn't go there that often anyway, but actually it was a bad experience before we even got served, so we walked out the door. So whatever. I mean, it was really no hair.
Yeah.
No hair got cut on that one.
Okay. One expense you would cut if you were starting over all over again that you cut way too late. Is there anything like that that stands out?
An expense?
Some sort of an expense that you should have cut sooner.
Boy, I don't know. I don't know. I guess the expenses that get out of hand are when you're buying product that's too expensive. So then you go to something else, and you can just, if somebody's prime rib's getting out of control and you talk to someone else, it's cheaper. So I think that's constantly buying.
Yeah.
You make money buying in that business versus selling also. And sometimes you get help that's making too much money and aren't doing it, but you keep upping their wage so that they're happy. So otherwise, everything else is incidental.
Yeah. What about the flip side? One expense that you would never cut, or any business owner in general should never cut, you would say?
Well, you should pay for that cash register system that keeps everybody honest. I mean, doesn't keep everybody honest, because your help can, unless you stay on top of them. Like I let my help, they eat.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, go ahead and eat. If you don't eat, you'll fall over and can't work anyway.
Yeah.
But you gotta the POS gets everything on the table. If your waitress is just walking around with a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and writes it down, and then she has to do the calculations and spend all this time,
Yeah.
inevitably stuff falls through the cracks. Like she'll run by the bar and go, I need 2 7-Ups. And then you give them to her, but she didn't write it down. Then it doesn't make it to the bottom line.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago when we got that. That definitely made life tremendously easier.
So technology in general is making life easier.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There's less things slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
The girl doesn't have to make math mistakes.
Yep.
There's a place right around the corner that they still write all their stuff down and do all this, and it's like, and it takes them time.
Yeah, it wastes time.
I mean, they're doing math.
Yeah.
And so they're doing math that they can make a mistake, and they're spending time doing it.
Yeah.
Where you just go, she doesn't have to like tell the bartender, I need 2 7-Ups, and then go there and hang her ticket up, and then the guy's got to do it.
It's all automated.
It just goes boom.
Yep.
That was a huge upgrade for sure.
So many restaurants in your competition or around you have come and gone, for sure. Have you noticed any patterns or any commonalities, anything that you've identified that this makes you go, oh, they probably won't survive? Also, businesses in general.
Well, what's gone out of business? Well, Joe was working at that place, and that went out of business. That guy had 2 restaurants. I can't remember what the reason was that all of a sudden he just closed the doors. A couple big places. You don't pay your bills.
Yeah.
So the last guy to get paid in my business is actually me or my partner. I mean, it doesn't seem right like that's true, and it kind of isn't, but it really is. You got to pay all your suppliers, or you'll never get any product.
Yeah.
Right. You go on COD. That's cause of death.
Yeah.
In case you want to know.
Sure.
You got to pay. No kidding. You got to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Keep getting stuff coming in.
Yeah.
You got to pay your help.
Yeah.
For sure, or they don't come to work.
And on time.
Well, it'd be nice if they were. Me? Yeah, I got to pay them on time.
You got to pay them on time.
Yeah, that paycheck's going to be there at no later than 5 o'clock every other Tuesday. It's got to be there.
Yeah.
But, we get it. You got to pay them, for sure. Like I said before, they're going to come in on payday, for sure. The other days when they're supposed to be working, you don't know. Something can come up. You got to pay Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
That guy always, otherwise, and you just those are big.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the three big guys. So
On-time payments.
yep, you got to keep paying your bills. And so if you don't have customers, like we talked about, sometimes the customer thing, our business is good. In the summertime, it's much better because there's the lake, there's the bike path, and then in general, like kids are out of school and families and things are moving, and so there's more vibrance to the day. But you got to keep customers in. You got to keep the cash flow coming so you can keep paying and keep the ball rolling down the mountain.
You say you keep the customers coming in. What else are you doing to get new customers in, apart from your regulars?
Not as much as we should.
Mm.
When it comes to, I think it's just like anything. You got to, like I'm trying to sell a kitchen table, so you got to put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm.
And we got things going on. We got a thing going on the night before Thanksgiving, and I think that's online. I think we should do a little bit. It wouldn't hurt us to do a little bit more. Hey, come here on Wednesday for this, or come here this for that. But I'm pretty lame on that side of the deal. I grew up way past that. My partner and the other people should be getting after that. So
Are they?
Probably yes, but they could probably be more aggressive.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Final question.
Just start giving stuff away.
Start giving away?
Well, like we got a new steak.
Yeah.
And I'm going with okay. Why don't we say give them a free glass of house Cabernet or something if they order that steak because it's new. And my bet is if you give them a free glass of wine with it, they might have another one.
Yeah.
And then they're having a good experience. Then they return. Makes sense.
It does.
I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it makes sense. So
makes sense.
Yeah. Don't you think?
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. Well, you're really agreeable anyway, so I mean.
No, I agree with a lot of going out and doing things and testing hypotheses. You can really just form a hypothesis, and then I'm all about actually taking data and measuring whether your hypothesis was validated or invalidated. Sometimes things that don't sound obvious tend to work very well. You would never know without testing a hypothesis.
Okay.
And so my idea is I just take things down and test them cheaply and fast.
Well, stick with what you're good at, and you're good at it.
Yeah, I'm good with being agnostic about this. Okay, last question. Biggest piece of advice for any business owner running a, let's say, $5 million business to $10 million business every year. What kind of advice would you give them? Or someone just getting started. Two different pieces of advice for each of them.
Well, pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention and, keep your eye on what's going on.
Yeah.
You should be able to, discern a lot of that out of that. Don't shirk. Get to work. Pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Be in tune. I mean, and you better want to work. We all want to have fun. We all want to do stuff, but you got to get after it, or just go work for somebody. If you're going to own your own place, you got to want to try to make it better. You got to want to try and get it to grow. And then when you got it going, you got to keep it going. Sometimes, like your NVDA guy, he doesn't have to try and make his business grow. He's got a product that everybody wants and they can't get enough of. So that should keep going until somebody else gets into the water with them, right?
Yeah.
They're
still pushing through though, massively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yep, thing's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, would you buy more of that right now?
I would. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's all about allocation. So I'm well allocated in NVIDIA right now.
Right. No, I just meant, I mean, if you're, I don't, whatever you got, we're not talking about you, but just your
Yeah, I mean,
average guy
I would.
that's
Right now, I
young.
don't see any headwinds with NVIDIA.
Yeah.
I don't
You know
see
what
it.
I mean? I mean, not,
No, I understand what you're saying. No,
Yeah.
I would. If I'm putting money in and I'm on allocation, I'm definitely allocating some to NVIDIA because there's no headwinds right now.
right.
There's no competition. It's just an unfair advantage for them. Now, they're also massively valued. Now, it's not like a small startup anymore.
True.
You're not going to get that exponential growth that you had 10 years ago.
Right.
At the same time, can they continue growing? I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Money's got somewhere to go. It's not like money printing is going to stop. It's not like people are not going to invest in stocks or in literally anything else. And fundamentally, I don't see why NVIDIA is not going to continue to dominate, at least for the foreseeable future. Could that change?
Correct.
Yes. Eventually,
Yes.
will that change? Inevitably.
Yes.
But for now, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, you're not from what I hear, you're not like a real estate guy. You don't want to own really real estate.
I have problems with people. So I would own real estate if I could find someone trustworthy, like an agency to manage the tenants and all that.
Okay. All right.
Find me tenants, manage them, take care of the maintenance.
Yeah.
I'd do it. Here's the thing. I also have to compare the return on the money. Can I make more money just by being in SPX? Maybe. The problem with SPX is there's no leverage. That's the advantage with real estate. There's leverage. And so instead of making 3%, you're making 12% if you have a 4x leverage. So I like that. I do like that. And they're not printing any more of it.
No.
Yet they're building out. They can always cut down some forests. Populations can expand. And population's not growing that much anymore.
Yeah.
That's the other part too.
They're building more and more apartments.
But you don't have the demographic explosion that you had decades ago.
True. More expensive to raise kids.
It is, and there's a lot more that happens. We've seen that in Japan. So what happened with Japan is they just printed so much money. They just borrowed so much from the future. Now there's no future anymore. And that's kind of what is happening with pretty much every country in the world right now. China, they are not at replacement rate anymore. Yeah. Korea, they've got problems. They've worked so hard. They have all this tech. They're world leaders in so much stuff. And yet, America, I mean, we don't have replacement rate here.
No.
So real estate, my problem with real estate is you got to fill it up with people. It's going up right now. But that demand supply curve is not looking very positive for me.
Yeah. Well, everything keeps going up. I mean, say you bought 800 acres.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to put people on it. It would cost you money.
Yeah.
But are you speculating on the price per acre increasing?
You're really just speculating on money printing at that point, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because as far as the value of land goes, there's two things. There's either the utility, whether it's residential or farmland or commercial, whatever.
Right.
And then there's the other side, which is, just inflation.
Right.
Regular inflation.
Right.
Until there's going to be some sort of demographic-based, utility-based growth, you're really just speculating on the base of inflation. So I can do that with anything, really.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that with land. Land is illiquid.
True.
Liquidating those 800 acres is not going to be as easy as done.
Right.
SPX, done.
Right.
80 million, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be some slippage, but for SPX, 80 million is nothing.
Oh, no kidding.
Nothing. You wouldn't even move the price by a few cents.
No, you wouldn't.
Land, how do you find a buyer for 800 acres, especially if it goes up 10x? If it does go up, how do you find a buyer?
Yeah.
Structuring that deal might take you years.
That's true.
So then there's the value on my time. How much extra did I make on the same investment versus how many hours did I have to spend on that?
Right.
Could I have been doing something else? Because that's the one thing you're not getting back.
Right.
Money, after a certain point, it's just numbers on a screen.
Right.
Time, you're not getting younger. You're not going to have more of
Is
it.
that why you were talking to me about my succession plan and what my plan is to get out?
Well,
'Cause I'm
that's
not
true for
getting any
everyone because
younger.
I've already got it all mapped out for my business. Like, I'm not sure it's going to play out that way. No one sees the future. Nobody has a crystal ball.
True.
But I have potential pathways it can go down that would get me out of the business, that would get my investors out of the business. Will that happen this year? Some of them are going to exit soon enough, I suppose. But the big exit plans, I hope in the next 5 to 10 years, I have plans, different ways it could play out. And I always like to think ahead. Now, I may be absolutely wrong. Plan A doesn't work, B doesn't work, C doesn't work, E doesn't work, right? Something else works out.
Right.
But I'm ready and I'm already thinking and I'm exploring opportunities. I was actually close to that, like I told you previously. I was close to that, and things would have been different. We had this discussion. You had a lot of fun when you were younger. I never had that phase. So I want to have more time to myself. And now I really just respect time too much, far more than money. Money is easy. You
Yeah, I
can
should
just
do
buy,
that.
I can buy Bitcoin, sit on it. Money's coming in. It's time. What do you do with it when you have it? And how do you make sure you say no to things that take your time away from you, doing things that you don't want to be doing?
Right.
I would rather maintain my optionality than make 10 times more money. The thing about real estate is you're not really making that much more money, even if you're making more money.
Right. Unless you have it filled up with apartments.
Even then,
You still
demographics are going to come into play.
sooner than later.
Yes. And demographics are not looking so hot. What happens when you can't fill them up with tenants? You can ask residential, commercial real estate. We've seen that happening in Texas and everywhere else now.
Yep.
You don't have tenants. What do? Real estate is also just another commodity built on speculation and utility. If utility dies, eventually speculation is not going to keep up with it.
Right.
Utility, it comes from demographics, really, for any business. And real estate is just another business. For me, everything is just another asset. I don't really tend to worship, oh, Bitcoin's great. It's going to replace the financial system. I don't care if it does. I'm agnostic. All I see is it's got short-term headwinds, long-term tailwinds. That's all I'm seeing. If tomorrow something else replaces that technology, I'm all on it. I'm going to dump it like any other thing. The one thing I would rather not dump is SPX because that's literally the collateral of the entire mankind's intelligence and innovation rolled into one place. That's it. And gold. Gold just is the true inflation hedge over centuries, isn't it?
Yep.
The oldest current fiat currency right now is Great British Pound. GBP has lost 99.96% of its value since its inception. 99.96% of its value. Can you believe that? A US dollar over the last 100 years, since 1913, right? 90 something percent.
Well,
so gold's kept up. Real estate actually exceeded that. Why? Because of demographic growth. Really. Now what we have is a stagnation kind of thing. And we are seeing that happen in Europe. Europe's playing out. Japan's playing out right in front of our eyes. They're leading us. So what's going on in Europe? Well, anti-innovation, too much regulation. What's the end result of all that? And we have that more and more now with your police incident, right? We're having more and more of that here now. So does that lead to me as a betting man betting on demographics getting better? No. No. So that's my thing on real estate. I mean, I would do it. And again, right now, it's not 2050. It's not where the demographic effects are really playing out. So if I can find an agency for managing my stuff, I'll do it.
Right.
Will I dump it? I'd be ready. I'd be ready to dump it.
Yep.
Like anything else. And the problem with real estate is still liquid. Residential apartments, stuff like that, liquid. Not as liquid as just me sitting here and doing it in 5 seconds.
Right.
But still, it's okay. I'll do it for the gains. I just have to see how it would play out and structure out so that I'm not on the line. and my net worth is not on the line. In a lot of cases, they require personal guarantees, even for business loans, especially for LLCs, if you're just getting started with a real estate portfolio.
Right.
So do I want to put everything else that I've worked up to
No.
on the line?
No.
And am I getting leverage without that? Without leverage, there's no money in it.
Right.
There's no money in it without the leverage.
Right.
So for the leverage, I have to personally guarantee it, which means putting everything else on the line.
Right.
There's a lot of complications with real estate, and long term, I'm not bullish on it. They're building so much stuff, so much stuff everywhere. In Asia, they're building so much stuff. They've got ghost cities in China. Entire cities built for tens of billions of dollars. Nobody lives in them. They've replicated Paris as a city somewhere in Guangzhou, and nobody lives there. Replicated entire 1950s Paris.
No kidding.
Yeah. Nobody's living there. They don't have the people. People want to live in Hong Kong or Beijing, or Shanghai. That's where the economic opportunity is.
Yeah.
They don't want to live in the middle of nowhere. Even if there's high-speed train, it's still going to take you 3 hours to get somewhere.
Still in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't want to spend...
You want to live where stuff's going on.
Yeah. So the thing is the real estate going up? Yes, but only in certain mega cities. That's where it seems to go up massively for now.
I think this Dane County is a growth place.
It is.
This is a growth place.
But at the end of the day, the local trends do not dictate national or global trends.
True. Absolutely. I think some of the things that, you would... maybe some of the things we alluded to, if you ask what the economic tendencies are everywhere, this place is way different than, East Coast, West Coast, South, whatever. So we're insulated here. We always have been, whether forever, but they got a lot going on here.
But you'd see things change very rapidly. Detroit was the center, was the heart of America for such a long time.
Yeah.
What do we have there now? A friend of mine, he was in He was in Detroit for a law conference, and at 7 p.m., he decides to walk back from the hotel where they have this conference to his own hotel, which is like 5 minutes away. And people who live there, they're literally worried for him because he's going to be on the street for 5 minutes.
Yep. You don't have that around here.
Yes.
This is an awfully safe place around here.
Thankfully. But the thing is, things can change very fast. And demographically, I'm not seeing real estate bouncing back long term. Many things would have to change for that, and I don't see that happening.
Got it.
When is the last time you ever saw a fiat currency recover? Historically. Go back thousands of years.
Oh, what currency?
Fiat.
Feared?
Fiat. Fiat currency, right? Paper currency.
Oh.
Unbacked currency.
Okay.
Once you have an unbacked currency, it literally always goes to zero, historically.
So you're into the gold.
Gold's okay. Gold's okay. It's a bet against that. Well, anyway, today we went way longer than the 60 minutes we planned.
Sure did.
And it was a lot of fun for me talking to you.
Well, it was fun. I like talking to you, so that's cool.
Well,
good.
If you learned something, and if you have any comments or questions for Tom, feel free to leave them in the comments below. My name is Lakshya. We'll see you in the next one.